Alright guys, you asked for a tutorial refreshing your memory on how to create a table of contents. So here we go. I've created a document in Google Docs that's going to basically mimic your portfolio. You'll notice that it has MLA format with my name, teacher's name, the class name and the date up here, and then it also has a page number, which is in fact in the header. Okay, so make sure you do the same with yours. Then I have my portfolio reflective letter written talking about all of the things that I have learned this semester. And then if you scroll down, I have a space for my table of contents that will come next. And then we go into each of the assignments I've chosen to include in the portfolio. So I have curiosity project, research plan, and a research presentation. I didn't write complete ones, but you get the idea for what's in here. Plus, I have a works cited page and my appendix saying where my survey questions, keywords, and databases would be. Okay, so if we want to have these things show up on the table of contents, what we need to do is change them from being in the normal text style to being in a heading style. That's going to make them appear there eventually. So what I want to have first is just the names of each of my assignments. So I'm going to highlight the Curiosity Project, and I'm going to take it from normal text to heading 1. Now, you notice how this changed the font and the size into this strange trebuchet, and I don't want it to look like that. So I will just go here and I'm going to change it to Times New Roman and 12-point font again, so it looks like how I normally want it to look. But I don't want to have to change it every time, so I'm going to click here, and if I click on this arrow, it gives me the option to update the heading 1 to match. If I click on that, then now every time in this document that I use heading 1, it's going to look the same way that I want it to. So there's Curiosity Project. You'll see when I do the research plan now, heading 1 still looks basically the same. And my research presentation, also heading 1. Now, I also want to set off some of the examples of where I've done something that I talk about in the reflective letter. So one thing that I talk about in the reflective letter that I wrote was how I used quotes in the Curiosity Project. And you see in this one right here, it says that this paragraph includes an orphan quote with no attribution tag. Oh no, that definitely needs to be something we talk about. So what I would want to do maybe would just be to highlight this and say, fine, I'll just change this to heading 2. But see what happens when I do that to a word within sort of a paragraph, it's going to switch that whole block of text into heading 2, and I don't want that. So I'm going to change that back, and instead what I'll do is break the text apart. So I'm going to give an extra line there. I'm going to say, let's say, quotation example 1. Okay, and then I'll give it another space so that this is its own separate line here. And then I'm going to call it heading 2. Now, same thing. It changes the font to trebuchet. I don't know why they like that. So I'm going to change it to Times New Roman, 12-point font, and now I'm going to update it so that every time I want to use it, it's going to, oh, it's also, okay, it's going to look like that instead of updated again. Okay. Now, yes, that breaks apart a paragraph, adds a little extra space, but that's okay. It's going to make it easier to find what we're looking for. Okay. Now, once I've gone through and I've done this on all of my essays, I go to all of the examples where I have something done well or something that I needed to improve, and I'm ready now to create my table of contents. What I'll do is click here where I want it to appear, and I will go to Insert, and it's way down at the bottom, Table of Contents. And you have the choice of either doing a page number 1 or blue one that's hyperlinks that you can just click directly on the blue. This time I think I will try the blue one. Okay, and as soon as I hit that, you see it's given us the titles of each of the 3 assignments plus the 1 quotation example that I marked off. So you could do this to start, and then you realize, oh, I need to add more examples. So you go through and you find, let's see, this paragraph here, see how it says it veers away from how a poorly written assignment can negatively impact students into an answer of the question that I was asking. So this would be one that I would use for my example of, I could use it as an example of how I didn't stay focused on the topic at hand. So I could say thesis focus example 1, okay? And I'm going to highlight that one to make it heading 2, right? So it'll be the same level as this quotation example 1, and that way it doesn't change the whole paragraph below it. This is still normal text, okay? So I go back up here and I look at my table of contents, but it's not there even though I changed the heading. So what do? Well, I'm going to click on the table of contents. The refresh arrow is going to show up, and I click on that, and look, now it appears there. So as you go through and you need to add more things to your table of contents, that's all you have to do. Click on it and hit the refresh button. Okay, so hopefully this will be enough of a refresher to help you successfully do this. Let me know if you have any more questions. All right, bye guys.